everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media. I am your host, John, and this is the new and improved Let's Talk Physical Media. If you guys saw yesterday's show, the Let's Talk Q&A show, that is going to be the brand new question and answer show. So the Q&A portion of this show will get moved to Saturdays, every single Saturday on that Let's Talk Q&A show. So this show will be just concentrating on physical media news and movie news and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, this will make this video a little bit shorter, but we also can flesh out things a little bit more, give more time to certain topics on the Q&A show and on the physical media show. So I think this will be pretty fun. And as always, let me know what you guys think of the new show in the comment section below. Let's just get right into it though, guys. Criterion announced their December 2024 release schedule, and my god, we got 4 great films. Now, I've only seen 3 of them, but I'm not going to bury the lead. The big one is the Coen brothers' masterpiece, No Country for Old Men.
Oh, man! Can you believe it?
This is a Best Picture winner. It stars Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson pops up in this movie. It's actually personally my second favorite Coen brothers movie, only behind Fargo, but they really do get close. I love No Country for Old Men. It's shot beautifully. It was actually shot at the same time in the same area as There Will Be Blood, which has been rumored for a 4K Blu-ray for a very long time now. And I wasn't expecting this. I should have been expecting it because the Coen brothers have actually worked with the Criterion Collection a lot in the past. Earlier this year, we got their first film, Blood Simple, on 4K Blu-ray. And last year, we got Miller's Crossing on Blu-ray through them, which is another very underrated Coen brothers films, and one of the most underrated gangster films of all time, right up there with The Long Good Friday, which is another underrated gangster film that I actually saw for the first time this year. That's another one. I'd put those 2 movies really up there in the best gangster films of all time, and I don't think a lot of people realize that they're out there and they're that damn good. The Coen brothers have always been those directors that, you know, people respect them in the film industry and a lot of cinephiles respect them, but they have never really crossed over too much into the mainstream. But No Country for Old Men actually did. Chris Jericho in WWE at the time, he kind of modeled his character. He changed his entire character, so he was very cold and ruthless, like Javier Bardem's character of Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. And I mean, he is one of the greatest antagonists in film history. Javier Bardem gives, obviously, his best performance in this film as just this cold, ruthless guy. The coin flip scene is just incredibly memorable. The shotgun with the silencer, the first kill scene in this movie with that look on his face, my god, it's incredible. Josh Brolin is still really good in this movie, and so is Tommy Lee Jones. We'll talk more about this movie in December when that 4K Blu-ray comes out, because that's not the only thing that got announced. We also got an announcement for one of my all-time favorite films, Paris, Texas, directed by Wim Wenders, is going to be coming to 4K Blu-ray. I have the previously released Criterion Blu-ray in my collection. Now, this is where the conundrum comes in, because we know that on November 4th, the same day as The Terminator is coming out, or actually, you know what, on Blu-ray.com right now, it says that The Terminator is coming out on November 19th, so I'm not entirely too sure what the deal is there, but anyway, we are supposed to be getting a Region B release of Paris, Texas on 4K Blu-ray on November 4th. Now, do I wait until December and just get the Criterion release, the US release? That way it's all on region unlocked. The only issue is that I already have that same artwork on the Blu-ray. I can get new artwork with that 4K for the Region B release. So I'm kind of conflicted on what to do. More than likely, to save some money, I will probably just get Paris, Texas and the Criterion 4K Blu-ray just to save a little bit of money. I don't have to import it that way. But I still got a little bit of time to make that decision. And we also got an announcement for Fellini's 8½, one of the most influential films of all time. Not one of my personal favorite films, but a lot like Breathless, and how that movie was a huge influence because of the French New Wave, and that's considered the biggest example of French New Wave. You know, this is considered one of the greatest Italian films of all time. I mean, Fellini is considered one of the greatest directors of all time, and this is considered his magnum opus. So to see this one come in a 4K Blu-ray through the Criterion Collection, it's one that a lot of cinephiles will pick up. More than likely, I will pick it up in the 50% off sale, because it's like one of those movies I feel like I should have in my collection just because of how influential it is and how important it is. It's kind of the same reason I picked up Breathless. Like, I like Breathless. I'll watch it every few years, but I don't absolutely love it. And I feel almost the exact same way about 8½. Those 2 movies in my mind are very similar to each other, even though they're very different movies. It's just that they are so important to their region. Like with 8½, and it being from Italy, and then you got over here with France, you get Breathless. So I think they're so important to foreign language films and how they influence the entire film industry in general, that it's something I probably should have in my collection. Those are the kinds of movies I just always want to have in my collection, even if I don't 100% love them. I just feel like the importance of them, and Criterion is always good for those kinds of releases. And then the last release is Eastern Condors. That's only going to be a Blu-ray release. and that's one I haven't seen, so I can't really comment too much on it, but we are going to be getting that, so if you are a fan of that film, you will be getting it on Blu-ray. But for me, man, the other three films, 8.5, Paris, Texas, and No Country for Old Men, all coming to 4K Blu-ray. That's honestly incredible. What a month of December that is, and unfortunately, again, the month I need my wallet to be as full as it possibly can be is going to be a little bit deflated because I'm going to have to grab some 4K Blu-rays. And another movie that got announced this week is the 1999 film Galaxy Quest. This film stars Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Sam Rockwell, Alan Rickman. I mean, the cast is stacked. You even get some actors before they even, took off, like Justin Long and Rainn Wilson are in this movie as just small little characters. And a lot of people, especially the Star Trek fans, because this is basically a spoof of, Star Trek, all the characters like Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, they were on a similar show. It's obviously not Star Trek, Galaxy Quest, but it's clearly supposed to be Star Trek. And a lot of Star Trek fans, the Trekkies out there, have said that Galaxy Quest is actually one of the best Star Trek films, so it's very tastefully done in that aspect. I'm not a Trekkie. I've actually never watched any Star Trek show other than if it was on TV or something in the background. But I've only watched the movies and that's it. So that's my only connection to Star Trek. But Galaxy Quest on its own in a bubble, even if you're not a Trekkie, is still something that's really, really fun. Celebrating 25 years. It's hysterical, that movie. So I'm pretty excited to get this one on 4K Blu-ray. It's got a really nice looking steelbook, which I might grab. And it's got a cool looking standard edition as well. So I'm really excited to see that coming to 4K Blu-ray. And another one that's going to be coming to 4K Blu-ray, another classic Steven Spielberg film, one that I actually haven't seen, and a lot of people consider this to be his directorial debut because this is his first theatrically released film. A lot of people think that Duel is his directorial debut, and that movie was a TV film. It just got a lot of recognition. That got a 4K Blu-ray last year. Well, this year we're going to be getting Sugarland Express. This is the movie that came out before Jaws, and it's one that's really forgotten, even amongst Spielberg fans, and that includes me. I'm very guilty of not actually seeing this movie, despite the fact it's directed by Steven Spielberg. I think this might be the only Steven Spielberg movie that I have never seen, and that's pretty disappointing, so I'll have to correct that this year with this 4K Blu-ray. I'm just really happy to see us getting another Steven Spielberg movie on 4K Blu-ray. I still haven't picked up The Color Purple from last year on 4K Blu-ray. I can't believe it's been a year since that movie came out on 4K. I mean, it's less than a year, but my God, time is going so fast. I feel like that just came to 4K Blu-ray, and, the remake that came out last year, which no one talks about anymore, all just came out like a couple of months ago. Time is just going so fast, and we're getting really spoiled with these 4K Blu-ray releases, so I'm really excited about that. The new Kevin Smith movie, the 4:30 movie, which I still can't check out in theaters, is going to be coming to Blu-ray as well. That one's actually going to be coming to 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray as well, and it's supposed to look like an old VHS box. I can't wait to check out that movie. I'm still hoping for the old Kevin Smith movies like Clerks, Chasing Amy, Dogma, all those movies come to 4K Blu-ray. There's been rumors about that. Jay and Silent Bob. We did get Mallrats on 4K Blu-ray, which is pretty damn cool, but that's just probably my least favorite of the old Kevin Smith run of movies, the A View Askew universe. I still want the original ones. I really want Clerks. I mean, that's one I felt like the Criterion Collection should have got their paws on, but apparently that one's going to be released by Paramount. Same thing with Dogma. Either way, I'm fine with that. I just want those movies on 4K Blu-ray. I cannot wait to get them. And do you guys remember earlier this year, Seven was supposed to come to 4K Blu-ray with that beautiful collector's edition where it had the box and everything? Well, Warner Brothers actually gave us an update. I'm going to read this out loud to you guys. Thank you all for your patience while we've developed our 4K restoration plans for David Fincher's Seven. We're pleased to announce that the restoration will be finally released in early 2025 with a brand new 4K scan carefully overseen by Fincher. We will be releasing two products, a digipack and a steelbook release, both developed and designed by the director himself. These products will replace the previously announced What's in the Box and Ultimate Collector's Edition versions. Pre-order for the new products will go live in early November. Apologies again for the delay, and thank you for your understanding. We can't wait for you to experience Seven in more detail and depth than ever before. Apologies for any inconvenience this cancellation might cause, and we genuinely appreciate your understanding. Thanks again for your support. We're excited to share this new release with you soon. So, kind of a two-handed thing here. The thing that's really upsetting, I'm sure, for a lot of people is that What's in the Box edition, that Ultimate Collector's Edition, is not going to be released. It sounds like both of those editions are scrapped. We're just going to be getting a digipack and a steelbook, and some people might look at that as a downgrade. I probably wasn't going to get the What's in the Box edition. Maybe that will still come down the line. They said that Fincher himself helped design these steelbooks and digipacks, so I don't know. It's really hard to say for sure. If this is going to be an upgrade or a downgrade, we'll have to wait and see how the artwork is. I'm actually curious to see what you guys think, because I know a lot of people were excited for that What's in the Box edition. Like I said, I probably was just going to get a standard edition anyway, so this doesn't hurt me that much. But for people who were excited and even have it pre-ordered, I'd just love to hear what you guys think about this, because are you disappointed? Are you just glad that we're going to be getting this finally on 4K Blu-ray? Seven is my personal favorite David Fincher movie. Love that movie, think it's a masterpiece. Again, a lot of people think that's his first film. His first film came out a few years before that, Alien 3, and thank God he kept making movies, because he really didn't want to. He had a horrible experience with Fox, but 7 is finally coming to 4K Blu-ray. We're getting Zodiac later this year, so we're finally getting those Fincher movies on 4K Blu-ray. So there's hope that, later down the line, we'll finally get, like, The Game on 4K Blu-ray. Release Mank on physical media. I don't care if it's on Blu-ray or 4K at this point. But I want that. I want The Killer on 4K. David Fincher makes some beautiful looking movies. And it's a shame that really all we have right now is The Social Network, Zodiac. And then we're going to finally end up with 7 on 4K Blu-ray. I mean, Fight Club's probably his most famous movie. I heard rumors for Panic Room. I'm just glad that we're finally getting 7 on 4K Blu-ray. Can't wait to see what the artwork looks like for that. Just glad that WB finally is keeping us in the loop on this. It's been almost a year since it was originally announced. I'm not too sure what happened. But either way, we're going to be getting 7 on 4K Blu-ray, which I just can't wait for. And there was just a quick bit of news after I stopped recording. We finally saw what the Deadpool and Wolverine 4K Steelbook is going to look like, and what the standard edition is going to look like. And it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like these 4K Blu-rays are going to be coming on October 22nd, which is also the rumored release date for Twisters on 4K Blu-ray. And I imagine that one of those would eventually move, because that's already a crowded week for 4K Blu-ray releases. That's also the same week we're going to be getting Ghost from Paramount Presents. And the same week, we're going to be getting Signs and The Sixth Sense on 4K Blu-ray. And I already have all 3 of those pre-ordered. And then the following week is just loaded as well with like Zodiac, Trick or Treat on 4K Blu-ray, Drag Me to Hell on 4K Blu-ray. And I know there's other stuff that week too that I also have pre-ordered. So the end of October is really full. So for these movies to be coming to 4K Blu-ray that week as well, I might wait until November to pick those ones up and maybe wait for a sale with that. Because right now the initial prices of those look pretty damn high. Obviously they will come down. But right now those look like they'll probably be over $30 on day one releases, which is a little bit frustrating for new release films, but I completely understand what they're going for. Now as far as the artwork goes, the rumored artwork, those steelbooks and the standard edition, I don't exactly love them, but I also never love white as a base color. I just feel like it's very, very, very plain. And I thought they might do a little bit more with this and be a little bit more creative. And honestly, just a little bit of a letdown. Now, these are rumored, so I don't want to say for sure this is what the final artwork is going to look like. But it does look like it is going to be the final artwork. So let me know. What do you guys think of the brand new Deadpool and Wolverine 4K Steelbooks? We'll probably talk more about this next week after it gets finally confirmed. But I'll just kick it back to my regular self. And the last thing we're going to talk about today, it's not really a physical media thing. It's more of a movie theater thing. In fact, it's all a movie theater thing. But it still ties into movies. And this came from Variety. And they wrote, the biggest movie theater chains in the US and Canada plan to invest more than $2.2 billion to upgrade more than 21,000 screens. The investment includes upgrading sound, projection, dining experience, plus pickleball and zip lines. Well, I've never played pickleball before, but I know that's getting pretty damn popular. There's a new pickleball court that you have to sign up for, like you have to have a membership for, that's right down the road from my job. I mean, it's just on the rise. I think it's the quickest rising sport. Never played it myself. Like most sports, I'd probably be horrible at it. But that's still pretty cool if you're somebody who's into that. Zip lining, pretty cool as well. Now, why would this be tied into the movie theater experience? Well, I was thinking about this. You're going to try and make the movie theater now like a main hub of all kinds of entertainment, kind of like what Topgolf is if you live near Topgolf. You don't just go there to, just hit golf balls, which is essentially what it is. It's basically a big giant driving range. You go there to hang out, drink, eat some food. So, maybe you go there like an hour before the movie starts to do some zip lining, play some pickleball, go to a restaurant. Then you grab a beer and head into the movie. It's a good idea. The only problem I have is as somebody who loves to go to the movie theaters, that's going to be raising the price. And I think we're just on that trajectory to the point where movie theaters are just going to be a destination for the big blockbuster releases. Just like everything in the movie business, movie theaters, studios, they just have to go down kicking and screaming. They just, they don't want the changes, even though it's inevitable. Look at what happened with streaming services. We knew this was going to happen eventually, but the pandemic just made that go even faster. So it looks like the movie theater industry is trying to plan for the future, for the inevitable. We see what kinds of movies do good in the box office. It's hard to get people to come out to theaters, especially with them still raising prices. I don't know if you guys saw this week, but AMC, they are going to be doing that blockbuster pricing, which is really unfortunate because, again, we're trying to get people to go back to theaters. So if you're going to be charging more money, you're not going to be getting the families to come to theaters. They just can't afford it. That's why people only go to the theaters for like certain movies. Look how good Beetlejuice is doing. Unfortunately, it's got to be an IP. It's got to have some name value. Not many original films do good in theaters. There are some of them, but we never see comedies anymore do good. We never see any of those mid-level budget movies do good. Horror always does good because horror fans are the best, and they'll come out for anything. Even if it's a bad movie, they're going to try it themselves. So you got to admit, horror fans, they always come out to the theaters, but you can't get a family to go out to theaters with those kinds of pricing. So maybe if you make it like a thing where you go there for just the day and then you go see the big family event, that's a good idea. You go see the big new Marvel movie. I get what they're trying to do. And I do feel like this is inevitable. Will I like this? Probably not. I don't want the movies to be shrinking, and I want all movies to be released in theaters. I love going to the theater. It's my favorite place in the world. But unfortunately, I see the writing on the wall. I see how movies are doing in theaters, and I see how much it costs to go to the movies. I might have the AMC A-list pass, but the thing is also, like 2 weeks later, the movie comes to streaming, and you don't have to wait longer, and it's $20. And if you're charging like $25 for a premium ticket, most people, unless they're cinephiles, are going to just wait for that movie to go to streaming in a couple weeks. They're not in a rush to see it, and I don't blame those people for doing that. Me personally, I don't want to do that. I want to go see it in the theaters, but I understand now that the cinephiles were kind of the minority in this situation. What I do like seeing, though, is home media is on the rise. So that's always a good thing. Seeing physical media going up and up. It's a double-edged sword. I'm glad that people are watching movies at home, but I still personally would like them watching them in theaters. But I do feel like, unfortunately, we've talked about it, theaters as we know it, for them to survive, they have to make changes. And it looks like they're aware of that, and that's what they're talking about in this article. So it's very interesting. I'm curious again, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about these changes to the theaters, these possible changes to the theaters? I don't think any of this is confirmed. Let me know in the comment section below. And guys, while you're down there, let me know what you thought of this new edition of Let's Talk Physical Media. Do you like it this way? Do you like the two shows separated? Let me know that in the comment section below. And then, of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. And we also have channel memberships. We have a Friends of the Channel tier, a Producers tier, where you can find John Doe Juggalo and Jason Martin. And we have a Directors tier, where you can find Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews and Mr. Smelly Potato. Don't forget, Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews and John Doe Juggalo have YouTube channels themselves, really diving into the world of physical media. So if you're physical media fans, check out their channels, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. But guys, you got no money to throw away? Don't you worry about it at all. Just get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.